In Sydney, a single pensioner spends 70% of their age pension just on rent. After groceries and bills, there is almost nothing left. Some skip meals, some choose between medication and electricity. The financial planning industry says you need $1.5 million in superannuation to retire comfortably, and most Australians hear that number and feel something between dread and quiet resignation. But there are towns across Australia where a house costs less than a used car. A couple living in one of them keeps over $2,000 every single month, with zero superannuation and just the pension. These are not abandoned outback camps either. Some have hospitals, one has ocean access, and one sits 40 minutes from a major city. Here are 10 hidden Australian towns where the pension is not poverty. It is freedom. The cheat code. Nobody talks about financial planners say the pension is not enough. But that claim depends entirely on one variable they never discuss: where you live. The age pension pays $2,232 a month for singles and $3,364 a month for couples. In capital cities, that is poverty, rent alone eats $1,500 to $1,800. But the pension was never designed to cover Sydney housing. When a pensioner owns a $100,000 house outright, achievable with as little as $30,000 to $50,000 in modest superannuation, the entire pension funds actual living. Groceries, utilities, healthcare, even dining out once a week. Same income, radically different life. That is geographic arbitrage, and it is the most overlooked retirement strategy in Australia. The pension does not change, the postcode does. Every town on this list was selected for three things: housing under $180,000, real healthcare access, and communities that genuinely want retirees. Not to gentrify, but to keep the town alive. The town that proves it is real. Let us start with the one that demolishes the assumption that a cheap Australian town means an abandoned mining camp. Parkes, New South Wales, population 12,000. Housing sits between $120,000 and $250,000. The town has a hospital with multiple medical centres and visiting specialists. It is home to the Parkes Observatory, you might know it as the Dish. Sydney is 4 hours away. This is a proper regional town, with supermarkets, a library, cafes, infrastructure, and a functioning economy that does not depend on a single mine staying open. Here is where the math gets interesting. A single pensioner buying at $160,000 with $50,000 in superannuation faces tight early years, roughly $432 remaining per month after mortgage and expenses. That sounds thin, and it is. But after about 7 years of payments, they own outright and suddenly keep $1,500 or more every single month. The first few years require discipline. Everything after that is freedom. Short-term constraint, long-term wealth. That is what geographic arbitrage looks like when you actually run the numbers. The hospital that should not exist. Parkes has 12,000 people and a hospital. You would expect that. But Monto, Queensland, has barely 1,100 people, and it also has a hospital. It also has a medical centre and an aged care facility, all in a town smaller than most Sydney apartment complexes. A single pensioner here keeps $1,132 a month after all fixed expenses. That is not survival. That is a genuine life with breathing room. Monto sits in Queensland's North Burnett region. It has a warm climate, cattle country, and is surrounded by national parks. It is the kind of place where neighbours still wave from their verandas and you can hear birds instead of traffic. It is quiet, it is affordable, and it has the one thing every retiree needs most: healthcare that does not require a 3-hour drive. If this is already changing how you think about retirement, subscribe, because I have 3 towns coming up that make everything so far look expensive. Where couples come out ahead. Monto proved a tiny town can deliver real healthcare. So the question becomes, can you get affordability and lifestyle at the same time? Cohuna, Victoria, says yes. Population 2,400, and it sits right on the Murray River. Housing runs between $100,000 and $220,000. Here is the number that matters for couples. After all fixed expenses, groceries, utilities, transport, and council rates, a couple on the combined age pension keeps $1,964 every single month. That money covers dining out, hobbies, and visits to the grandkids at Christmas. Nearly $2,000 of discretionary income every month on just the pension. Cohuna has a medical centre, Echuca Hospital 45 minutes away, and Bendigo, a major regional city 90 minutes south. The Murray River is not just scenery, it is a lifestyle. Fishing, walking trails along the banks, and weekend markets in nearby towns. This is not just affordable retirement, it is comfortable retirement on a river, with money left over at the end of every month. But what if healthcare access is your single biggest concern? The next town solved that problem in a way you have probably never heard of. The healthcare innovation nobody knows about Natalia, Victoria, population 1,800, housing between $120,000 and $250,000. What makes Natalia unusual is its bush nursing centre, an innovative healthcare model providing general practitioner services, emergency care, and visiting specialists right in town. If you have never heard of it, you are not alone. It is a uniquely Australian solution to rural healthcare, and it works. Shepparton Hospital sits just 50 kilometres away for anything serious. A single pensioner keeps $1,100 to $1,200 a month after expenses. Victoria also provides energy concessions worth around $200 a year, and most councils offer pensioner rate discounts up to 50%. Those hidden savings will not make headlines, but they compound quietly. They add up to hundreds of dollars a year that most retirement calculators completely ignore. Natalia's Bush Nursing Centre is innovative, but if what you want is a traditional hospital right in your town, not 50 kilometres away, not a nursing model, then the next town delivers that at the same price point. Everything except the price tag. Jamestown, South Australia, the population is 1,500. Housing is between $100,000 and $230,000. Jamestown has something rare for a town this size: a hospital, a medical centre, and an aged care facility, all within the town itself. That triple combination is almost unheard of at this price point. Adelaide sits 2.5 hours south. With $50,000 in superannuation, a pensioner can buy and carry a small mortgage that is fully paid in roughly 5 years. After that, the entire pension funds everything, and you own your home outright in a town with actual hospital-grade healthcare. No compromises on the one thing retirees worry about most. Now, everything I have shown you so far costs between $100,000 and $250,000. But the next 4 towns are where this gets genuinely unbelievable. One gives you ocean access, one sits 40 minutes from a major city, and one has houses cheaper than what most Australians spend on a car. Every dollar accounted for. I promised the next 4 would be unbelievable, so let me start by removing every shred of doubt. Eidsvold, Queensland. Population 600. Housing ranges between $90,000 and $180,000. The town has a hospital, a medical centre, and an aged care facility. Now, here is every dollar accounted for. A single pensioner buying a $100,000 house with $40,000 in super and no mortgage spends $1,075 a month on fixed costs. Groceries, $450, utilities, $300, transport, $250, council rates, $75. That leaves $1,157 every single month for medical costs, discretionary spending and savings, all on just the age pension. No super drawdown, no side income, no hidden tricks. Just the age pension in the right postcode. That number is not hand-waving, it is arithmetic. And once you see it laid out like that, the $1.5 million retirement myth starts to look less like financial advice and more like a scare tactic designed to sell managed funds. A pensioner in Eidsvold with zero super drawdown keeps more discretionary income than many full-time workers in Sydney after rent. Let that sink in for a moment. The coastal twist nobody expects. Eidsvold proved the math works inland. But what if you do not want to give up the coast? Ravensthorpe, Western Australia, population 500, housing between $100,000 and $250,000. Here is the moment that breaks every assumption about cheap retirement towns. Ravensthorpe sits just 15 kilometres from the ocean. Coastal recreation, mild climate, and none of the premium charged by towns like Byron Bay or Noosa, where the same house would cost $800,000 to $1.2 million. Think about that comparison. The same distance to the ocean, but a price difference of $700,000 or more. A couple here keeps $2,014 a month after all expenses. That is coastal living at inland prices. Not a compromise, a cheat code. The Hopetoun coastline nearby has white sand beaches and turquoise water that looks like it belongs in a tourism advert, except nobody is advertising it, which is exactly why it is still affordable. Every cheap town list features landlocked, dusty inland places. Revealing ocean access at these prices changes the equation entirely, and the next town might change it even more. The 40-minute advantage. Here is what shatters the entire trade-off. Henty, New South Wales has a population of 900. Housing runs between $80,000 and $120,000. Henty sits just 40 minutes from Albury, a major regional centre with comprehensive hospital services, specialists, major retail, restaurants, everything you would expect from a proper city. $80,000 for a house, 40 minutes from a full-service city. That is the classic retirement dilemma, affordable versus accessible, and Henty erases it completely. You get the price of a remote town with the access of a regional centre. No helicopter rides to the nearest hospital, no 3-hour drives for a specialist appointment, no stocking up on a month of groceries because the next shopping trip is a full-day expedition. Just a short trip down the road whenever you need it. Albury has everything from Bunnings to specialist clinics to decent restaurants. If proximity matters more to you than the beach, Henty is the most practical option on this entire list. But the next town is not about practicality, it is about something you probably did not think cheap retirement could offer. The one that looks like it costs $800,000. Ravensthorpe gave you the coast and Henty gave you access. But what if retirement could actually be stunning? Not just affordable, but genuinely breathtaking. Quorn, South Australia. Population 1,200. Housing ranges between $120,000 and $250,000, nestled in the Flinders Ranges, one of Australia's most dramatic landscapes, ancient mountain ranges, native wildlife, the kind of scenery people pay thousands to visit on holiday. This is the place where you open your front door and the view alone justifies the move. A couple here keeps $2,039 every single month after all fixed expenses, the highest couple surplus on this entire list. There is a medical centre in town. Port Augusta is 40 kilometres away and Adelaide is 3.5 hours south. But the real story is the lifestyle. Golden light at dusk spreads across the ranges, wedge-tailed eagles overhead, red earth stretching to the horizon. This is not just affordable retirement, it is the kind of retirement most people assume costs a fortune. In Quorn, it does not. The $40,000 mic drop. Quorn may be the most beautiful option on this list, but if raw affordability is what you need, if you need the pension to be enough with almost no savings, there is one town left. And it makes everything else look expensive. Norseman, Western Australia, population 700. Housing $40,000 to $100,000. $40,000 for a house, less than a used Hilux. A pensioner with just $20,000 in superannuation can secure a small mortgage and own outright within 2 years on the pension alone. No $1.5 million nest egg, no financial planner, no retirement village entry fees, just a $40,000 house, a medical centre, and the goldfields' wide open sky. Remember where we started. In Sydney, the age pension is poverty. In Norseman, it is freedom. The gap between those two lives is not income, it is information. And that gap is costing people their dignity every single day. These 10 towns are not speculation. They are functioning communities where pensioners already live comfortably on the same pension that leaves Sydney retirees choosing between groceries and medication. The $1.5 million retirement myth survives because nobody shows the alternative. Now you have seen it.